he's pulled up well. He's moving well today. We expect him to train this week and play on Saturday against Port. Yeah, we'd expect him to be along the same lines. He's done all the training that he's been required to do. He trained really hard yesterday, and we expect him to train this week and be available to play this week as well. He's been training for a couple of weeks now, and he's been doing everything that's been required of him. He's an important player to get back in our team, so there want to be a strong argument, I guess, to keep him out of the team. And if he's available for selection, he'd be pushing pretty hard to get into the senior team because he's a naturally fit player. He's an extremely good endurance runner. He's done a lot of work, and he's an important player for us. So he'd be right in line for selection this week. Yeah, I thought he was pretty good. Yeah, he was pretty good. He played against both he and Sam played against Ryder and Bell Chambers, who are pretty good players, and they were able to do a pretty good job, we thought. And so we were pleased with how they went. I mean, we knew that going into the season that he'd be playing the ruck role for us, and the majority of the time he's done that and done it pretty well. Obviously, with Kurt coming back in the team, that still gives us a marking option up forward as well. So it's important that he rucks well, and he's been able to do that, which is good. Yeah, Gary's a player that we've played a fair bit of the year in our reserves in defence for a number of different reasons, to get his match fitness up and going, get through some little niggles that he had early in the season, and also teach him another position in the ground. And he's been able to be exposed to the defence more, and he's been able to play better each week. So he's coming along okay at the moment. We've been pleased with how he's going. Look, I don't know. As it sits, it's going to be a bit of a challenge if he hasn't got into this point. But you never know what's around the corner. But we've been able to been pleased with the balance of the team. It's been the senior team and how they've been going, and it's been a tough team, particularly in the midfield, to break into. So it'll be a challenge for him. But Ryan's a pretty resilient character. It's a challenge, but he's been really good now with our younger kids in our reserves. He's embraced it. He's as good as what he could possibly do. He's teaching the younger kids. He's been extremely vocal. He's taking a lot of the meetings for our reserves players and really thrown himself into that role, which has been pleasing because he's in our leadership group, and it's important that he keeps on contributing and teaching and passing on the knowledge that he's got to our younger generation of midfielders, and he's been able to do that really well. We see his role's been really good. I mean, only because he hasn't been kicking the goals that he was a couple of years ago doesn't mean his impact hasn't been there. We've been really pleased with his season to this point. He's been a very good player for us. Every week he's contributing. He's been a bit more midfield than maybe what he's done for a number of years, and he's been a good player. And our structure's changed over those last couple of years, which means his role's changed a little bit as well, but he's given us that outside run and carry, and his kicking has been good, and his pressure skills, his knowledge of the game is of a really high standard for a younger player, so we're pleased with how his season's gone. Yeah, Tom played 40 minutes in our reserves the first game in a month on the weekend, so hopefully he gets back into playing a bit more football now. He's sort of only played the 2.5 games in 8 weeks before that, and then played 40 minutes in our reserves on the weekend, was finished at half-time. So apparently he's pulled up pretty well today, which is a good sign. So we need to increase his game time now and hopefully get him back up to full fitness, because obviously the season's coming to a fast racing towards an end, and he needs to make sure that he gets some fitness at training and also in the games. Well, I guess if you're going through the players that are available, wouldn't be far away from it. And we know that Hannah's has still got to get some form and fitness to be able to come and, if he's available for selection this week, and Shorey and Tippo hopefully play some more football as well. But we're starting to get some of those players back in the team, which has been good. And if they were available this week, it'd certainly be one of our stronger teams. They were really good here when we played in the SCG. There was a ripping game, and that went right down to the wire. And since then, they've still lost 3 games by under a kick, or a kick or under. And that was only 4 points, I think, that game. Earlier in the year, they only lost to North Melbourne by 7 points. So I'm acutely aware of how good Port Adelaide are, and I know that they'll be fired up this week, and they've got a very strong team available as well. If Tringove comes back in as well, they'll have a pretty strong lineup. So I'd imagine it's 2 teams in a reasonably strong position as far as players available. And at Adelaide Oval, it'll be a big crowd, I imagine, so it'll be a good game.